Hi everyone, I'm Anna and I am a compulsive overeater and I choose three weighed and measured meals from the Cambridge Grey Sheet. I write those meals down, I commit them to my sponsor. I don't eat anything in between, no matter what, and abstinence is the most important thing in my life. It took me quite a while to learn that mantra. I used to sit on meetings going, what are they all saying? Um, And yeah, I'm really grateful to be here. I'm really thank you everyone doing service. Um, yeah, my abstinence date is the 6th of February 2023. And I'm going to talk a little bit about what my life was like before I joined and found God-given higher power moment for me when I was given Grey Sheet and all of you. And yeah, my gratitude for this program. Um, because one day, sometimes one meal at a time, my life gets better and better. But also, now I've put down the food, um, I'm learning that my life isn't perfect. I used to think it was. I was in heaps of denial. But yeah, my life was, I come from really high numbers. When I came to the Grey Sheet, um, I was 23 and a half stone. There was nothing stopping me. I think I would have died within about 7, 8 years. I don't think there was anything that was going to save me. I'd tried quite a bit, but I hadn't tried masses. I was exceptionally, I still am. I'm quite sloth-like. Takes me a long time to move. And I was, yeah, when I read the big book, which I do every day, I read a page every morning. Um, yeah, I'm full of sloth. I did try quite a bit. My mother really tried to help, and she took me to Weight Watchers when I was 14. But I really truly believed there was no hope. I was conceived a compulsive overeater. I am absolutely allergic to sugar, grains, and carbs. I remember food just being my obsession, and I had no stop button. Um, I There was just no hope, I don't think. I tried quite a few things, but I just remember ever since I was a little girl, food being my obsession. Towards early on, I mean, from about 3, 4, which is when I think when our memories start, the ones I can actually remember, it was definitely sugar, but then it really turned into carbs for me and starches. And I just ate. That food was comfort and it numbed me out. I was a very, very lazy person, but but lazy with my food, if that makes sense. So I got bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And I got unhappier and unhappier and unhappier. I used to, oh, the things I did. I just ate and ate. I used to order 3, 4 takeaways in one evening, sometimes during the day. The fridge would be full. I would go to corner shop after corner shop and buy packets and just packets and packets of things. I would sneak food. There's a I remember my mum when she took me to Weight Watchers, I was sneaking food out of the fridge. I'd get home after school. I was about gosh, I think I was about 12, 13, and I would get home from school and I would, no one would be in, and I would sneak stuff from the bottom of the fridge that we don't eat. And I would hide the wrappers. I wouldn't even think to put the wrappers in the bottom of the bin. I just found this basket, this huge basket that was in our lounge, and I would hide the wrappers in there. It had a big covering on it. And I remember one day thinking, I really need to get rid, because this basket was massive. It was an absolutely massive basket. It used to hold the wood, the logs in for our fire. And it got big, it got fuller and fuller. And I remember thinking, I was full of so much shame, but I thought I need to get rid of all those wrappers. And it was, I just didn't do it. I just kept eating and eating the stuff. And then I got home one day and Mum was home early and she'd found all the wrappers. And she went, she actually got very, very angry, but I honestly think she was really scared. I think she'd been trying to help me my whole life. I've spoken with it about it with her, and she said she was quite terrified. She didn't know what to do. She could see there was a problem with my food, and that I just ate. I just had no stop button. And so then when I left, so she took me to Weight Watchers. It worked for me because my mum also did all the cooking. She's an amazing cook. So it worked because she then basically weighed and measured my food and she looked after my food intake. But I was really lazy in terms of my thinking. I never thought about food. I would just eat it. I never thought about what what was going on. And it wasn't until I joined, well, until I found Grey Sheet, which I still just cannot believe, um, that I learned how to look after myself with the help of well, I don't think it's me. I think it's God given. I think it's higher power. But so when I left home, it's might be a bit jumbled. Well, that was danger for me because then I had to be, oh, thank you, Anna. Noted. I That was danger for me because I then had I had all the income. I everything was everything was there at my disposal, and I went to town. And so I got bigger and bigger and bigger. Um, my body was well, it was a mess. But I think this disease is not it's not just a bodily disease, it's a disease, it's a spiritual disease, and it's an emotional disease. And I was just desperately unhappy. And I somehow, so then in my 20s, um, whilst I can't drink either any alcohol, for me, food, sugar, grains, and carbs is something I cannot put in my system. Well, I began, and I just carried on, and then I met my husband, and gosh, he, well, it's not about him, but I just ate and ate, and food was love. And anything that would comfort me, well, it was always food. If it meant I didn't have to cook, or I didn't have to chop, or I didn't have to, I would just go to any supermarket, takeaways. Throughout my 30s, I would just eat and eat and eat. But this laziness was a laziness of my mind. I didn't want to think or be responsible for my behaviours. And Grey Sheet has brought me clarity of mind that I am responsible for myself. Um, and I was thinking the other day that whilst I was getting bigger and bigger, what I would also do is I would behave as though I was fine. I was in agony, both physically. chafing thighs, um, I would wear, I would buy so many clothes, just anything that would cover this, this, this fat. It was just huge. Um, but I would therefore I would prove my worth by doing more and more and more outwardly. I would fill my diary. Um, I would be there for other people. I had no idea what self-care was. I had no idea how to look after myself. And what happened for me oh, well, no, I'm not going to go ahead of myself. On and about mid-January in 2023, somehow I met someone who, in person, who was doing the grey sheet, and she spoke to me in a kitchen, because obviously that's where I was. I was making myself some food. And I'd known her for about a year, and she spied me, and she said, she asked me about um, my food, and I said, I'm a big girl and I have big bones. That was I'm really big boned. Um, and she told me about Grey Sheet, and sorry if you've heard this before, but I thought she said gracious. She said GreySheeters Anonymous. And I thought she said Gracious Eaters Anonymous. And I thought, what is that? Who eats graciously? Because I do not. I still don't. My food gets put in front of me. I weigh and measure my food, and then I will. I was just noticing last night, actually, I did have a knife and fork by my plate, but I had to remember to use it because I love eating with my fingers, with no one watching. And she said, no, no, GreySheeters Anonymous. She took me for a coffee the following week, and I sat in meetings online for about three. She slid me the password. She said, I'll see you there if you want to come. And I sat in meetings for about 3 weeks, just stunned by all of you, just sharing your experience, strength, and hope that there was this solution. Because the solution is, it sounded so simple, but I was terrified. I weigh and measure my food. I write it down, but also I only eat things that are on the grey sheet, the Gracious Eaters Anonymous. Um, uh, I only eat those foods. My sponsor, I eventually asked again, I was terrified, but I asked her to be my sponsor. And she spent so much time with me. I'll forever be grateful for that, for that, to her. She gave me all the tools, and I try and use them every single day. But the most simple tool, even though it's not, I still, some days I don't find it simple, is to just write my food down, commit it to her, and then weigh and measure my food. But also to not put sugar, grains, and carbs into my system. Because if I do, then I think for me, I don't, I don't know what will happen. Who knows? Some days I just go one meal at a time. I'm having currently, I'm having this amazing time at the last 2, 3 days. I haven't had any compulsive thoughts about food. That doesn't happen. I'm well into I'm still early, but I'm into my abstinence. But there are these times, I've read it in the big book, but I don't have these obsessive thoughts about things we don't eat. And I love those times. And that's what Grey Sheet brings me. It brings me this simple way of eating because I weigh it. So it shows me, thank you, Anna, it shows me my quantity, but it also gives me quality, beautiful, delicious food. I love my food. Um, and just to say, the other tools, I go to meetings, I sponsor, I do service. Every morning I read some literature. I love to do outreach. I'll leave my number. I'm here for any of you. If you ever need anything, I'll try and be there, but can't be there for everyone. Um, I go to roundups. It was delightful to meet you all in Paris. What an amazing roundup that was. That's probably my time. I want to say I'm really grateful to Grey Sheet, but I'm really grateful to all of, I'll get a bit emotional on an emotional day today. I'm really grateful to all of you because I couldn't do it without you. I'm grateful to God. And yeah, I can't wait to hear all of you. Thank goodness for Grey Sheet living in the solution, no matter what.